Alright, welcome to part 3 of the 100% kind of beginner's tutorial. Remember last time we were off in Mugshot's boss fight. We just finished him off and we were getting ready to start tackling the Master Thief sprints. Now, in between the two recording sessions, I messed up the coin count a little bit, so I'm going to be at 70 coins instead of 67 like I was last time, but 3 coins doesn't make a difference. I'm still in that little bracket that I was talking about of like 55 to 70, 75 coins, and that's going to dictate which Master Thief sprint we start with. So if you were in that little 55 to 75 kind of coin range, we're going to be starting with Rocky Start. And we're just gonna start, going through them like that. The reason why we're starting with Rocky Start is in this one, provided you do it in one shot and you don't die at all, you should get about 25 to 30 coins. You want to make sure you don't go over 100. And the reason for that is we're going to be doing straight to the top right after this one. We need to get a coin charm, a silver charm, from collecting 100 coins after we've started the thief sprint for this level, and that's just the easiest way to do that, is to make sure that we don't go over 100 coins, so that we don't have to grind, and it's fast and easy. So that's that. If you were at the 94 to 99 coins, you can just go ahead, or you would normally start with straight to the top. But for the purposes of this, we're going to be starting with Rocky Start. So, when you're doing the Master Thief sprints, all you have to do is just view map around and enter the level like normal. And you're just going to use fast the whole time here. And jump around this. Not be silly like me. And you're just going to run through the level. Rocky Start doesn't have anything fancy that you're going to do. Just make sure you're kind of collecting some coins here and there. Don't go out of your way to collect coins. Like I said, you don't want to go over 100, but you do want to get as close to it as possible. And at the very end, there are 4 coins you are required to collect. You cannot avoid, so you do want to wait for that. That guy can sometimes kind of heck you, and I think we should be good here. Got a few extra coins, more than I'm used to, but and make sure, that's another thing, I should go over that right now before I forget. When you are doing the thief sprints, you want to make sure you avoid tripping the lasers at all costs, unless you are right next to the little like alarm thing. And the reason for that is since we're just blitzing through these with fast, the timer is moving at the normal speed the whole time. Granted, I mean, it's going twice as fast, but we're also going twice as fast, but we're not gaining any time, so we're on a very strict time limit for some of these, and while they're easy, provided you just you don't mess things up and get stuck or die or anything like that, you want to make sure that you don't hit the alarms, because it's going to make your life significantly harder. That is something to kind of keep out here. So if you would like to, you can avoid, like, you can stop using fast in some spots to guarantee that you don't accidentally trip an alarm or something. Because when you trip the alarm, the timer moves twice as fast as normal. So even though we're using fast, we're going twice the speed, so the timer goes twice the speed. But if you trip the alarm, the timer goes at twice the speed again. You want to make sure you don't trip the alarms. But anyway, now that we've done that, we're at 99 coins. We're going to go straight to the top. I didn't mean that to happen. Anyway, so for this one, this is kind of an advanced strat that I'm going to be showing off. I didn't go over this when I was going over the level itself, because it's really not worth it to be doing that as a beginner there. But for the thief sprint, since it's really easy to kind of reset yourself and then just try it again and keep trying it, I think it's worth it. Plus, this thief sprint is really difficult if you don't do this strat. So I recommend practicing it, messing around with it. It does involve super jumping, and that can be a little bit weird. So I'm just gonna kind of go over some things before I start this. If you're at 99 coins, if you're at 97 or 99, you don't gotta worry about anything. But if you're at exactly 94, when you run up here to get to this M, you're gonna hug this wall and auto collect those 2 coins before you get up here. Otherwise, this is gonna be the exact same thing. So one more time, if you're at 94, collect the hourglass, and then as you're coming here, you just kind of hug the wall, get the coins, and then you're gonna continue on and follow with the strat. If at any time you fail this, you know, you mess up the super jump, you know, you miss the trigger for that, something, or you die, you get hit by the dog or something, don't restart sprint, come down and load the game. And what that'll do, since you haven't saved yet, is it'll put you back at your whatever your coin count was, and you can just reset like that. We're just gonna go ahead and grab this. Since I'm at 99 coins, I don't have to worry about anything. I can just come over here, start climbing this, and then at the very top of this, and it's important you do this as quickly as possible, the very top of this, we're gonna jump off and then start holding basically just left like this, and then we're gonna land down here, and we're gonna do a super jump, and we're gonna double jump while we do that. And a super jump is just attacking where you hit the ground. I have more in-depth explanation of that in the 80% beginners tutorial. You're just learning the game for the first time, but we're gonna do a super jump, and then we're gonna double jump out of that. So we're gonna do this. Well, I messed up. It was holding far too far left. Trying to pause and break this down and explain it all in one go is a little weird. We're gonna do something like that. That's more what it should look like. And then you're gonna double jump, and then we're gonna land. We're gonna do another one with a double jump, and it should get us to right about here, and we should be at 102, 101 on the little timer thing. From here, you're gonna stall out right about here until you're at 1 to 101, and then you're gonna jump down here underneath this the left side where this tire should be at, and you're gonna kind of hold to try to get underneath the car, and then just keep holding upright and mash X to cancel the damage animation, and that should super jump you back up and hit the trigger like that to hit this wrecking ball early. And then from here you're just gonna jump down and run into the level, and that's that. Kind of it's a tough strat, but it makes the sprint basically trivial. From here, realistically, this is just preference. If you want to do Boneyard next, you can do Boneyard next. If you want to do Back Alley Heist, you can do Back Alley Heist next. It doesn't really matter. Back Alley Heist and Boneyard Casino are pretty interchangeable. You're going to do one or the other, and then do the next one right after it. So for the purposes of this, I like doing Back Alley Heist next. And for this one, I'm going to be showcasing the same strat that I showcased in the actual tutorial, and I'm just burning through this really fast. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just burning through it really quickly. One of the things, like, I'm going to preface this, you have a lot more time than you think you do when you're doing strats in a level to cut out significant portions. But if you want to just take it a little bit slower, you can. But keep in mind, you need to go at least a little bit fast still. But again, with this strat, I get right about here. There's a little notch there in the door, right next to Sly's like left foot. I try to position myself, be kind of like this, and then I just double jump up and hold forward. And this is something that I wanted to cover with this. When you're in a thief sprint and you die, you have to restart all the way from the beginning. So dying in a thief sprint is very, very bad, and that's I was kind of struggling with whether or not I wanted to go over this strat or not. The thief sprint is doable without it, and playing the level casually, but you have to be really quick and make sure you don't trip any of the alarms. If you trip any of the alarms, you pretty much have to restart, because you only have about a 10 to 12 second buffer. But with this strat, you have like a 40 or 50 second buffer. So I was a little on the fence about this. So if you don't want to do this, you find yourself just having loads of trouble with it, like I am right now. You can just do the thing casually, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can just drop down here if you wanted and do this stuff this way and break that and then kill this guy and drop down. You know, you don't have to do all this really quick fancy stuff. There we go. But what that did was it skipped all that stuff over there to the left. Now for these, you're gonna do that same kind of super jump thing, where you you swing as you jump. You're gonna do that as you land on these two things here, and just hold right. And what that does is it will let you keep control of Sly and kill his momentum of, because normally when you land on those, it force bounces you down into like the left, or the right, and then the left, and then the right. Normally that's what it's supposed to do, but if you super jump when you do that, it lets you remain control or keep control over Sly. And you can just jump this if you want. You can just make this jump. You don't have to press circle or anything like that, but and that's one thing to note. For whatever reason, when you land there, you have to kind of do a little hop to guarantee that you get the end zone. It's really weird. I don't really understand why it does that, and it's pretty much only that one and like one or two other ones, so it's really weird. For here, again, remember dying is very, very bad. And especially with these long levels, it can lose you a lot of time. So here, we're just gonna do this really, really easy strat. You're just gonna hug this little wall here and just jump. There you go. The death plane doesn't extend all the way there, so you can just kind of, get that. You're good to go. Now, normally, if you weren't, going through a bunch of these things, the reason why we do to Tango last is we prefer to get a coin charm in there, but you don't have to do it. It's not necessary to make it safe. It's just something that I do. Now, when you do these roulette wheels, you don't want to use fast on them. You don't want to use fast on them, because for whatever reason, you can like glitch through these, and you can glitch through them like normal, even without fast, but it seems to happen far more consistently if you're using fast on the roulette wheels. And I think it has something to do with how they're spinning, how the collision works when everything's going supersonic speed, so I don't ever worry about using fast here. I was trying to avoid the coin. You don't have to worry too much about the timer here, because we're just gonna cheese this with roll again like we did earlier, so you just skip a lot of the nonsense here. And now finally we have our last thief sprint, which is 2 to Tango. And 2 to Tango is another one where we don't really have to worry too much about the time. You skipped the dialogue here earlier, you have to skip it again by going to the right. If you didn't skip it, you can just go straight away forward, and it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna grab this and just start running through the level. Provided, you keep moving, Carmelita's shots will never be a worry to you, so gonna keep going. Gonna get a lot of coins in this level. You can press circle on that to grab this early and get up here, but messed up. Important, when you do this, make sure you hear the latch on sound, you hear it and you see Sly kind of like grab onto it before you jump up. This part of the game has a really weird tendency to, if you press circle, or if you press, you know, jump as soon as you latch, like the instant that you latch onto it, like before you get like the sound cue and things like that, Sly will just fall through it for some reason. He'll just miss. And since you don't have a charm right here, since we don't have a charm right here, normally you're trying to get a charm here just in case that happens. But since we don't have a charm here, dying would send us all the way back to the start of the thief sprint, and that's no bueno. For this guy, you can jump on this mattress while he's still looking at it, but that's incredibly scary if you don't have a charm, because his shots can come up here and chase you and kill you. I definitely recommend not doing that. And then I definitely recommend not doing this with fast either. Because again, for some reason with fast on, Sly will just miss sometimes, and that's not good. You don't want to die right at the very end. And I explained that in the second part where I was playing through this level. Normally I explain that trick. That's why I'm not going over it again. You can just sit here and hit this a couple times and you're good to go. Now those really weren't that bad, honestly, you know. There was some neat little strats. Some of them were kind of hard. But overall, I felt like that was pretty simple, you know. From here, we're just going to exit the hideout, because we are done with World 2. We've 100%ed everything in here. And if you want to make sure, you know, you want to check and make sure you got the 7 keys, the 5 bases, or the 5 vaults rather, and the 5 these sprints. Now we're going to go here. And I always recommend doing into the machine first. Your coin count should pretty much always guarantee you're going to get a charm here. And this is another very long level where having a charm so you don't die is very helpful. However, there isn't really anything noteworthy in this level strat-wise. It's just kind of playing the level good. So you might want to practice this one, because you are on kind of a strict time limit. You have about 12 seconds of leeway, which is, you know, it is pretty short, but you have to, at the same time, 12 seconds, while it seems short, is also pretty long. As long as you don't get panicky and whatnot. When the timer starts ticking down, you should be fine. Like I said, I don't recommend doing the jumpy things here. Just do that. If you have the charm and you want to go for him, you can. But there's another kind of tricky jump here at the very end. This little dude right here, he can be a little bit of a nuisance. I like to run directly towards him and bait him into doing the attack and then jumping over to the right to kill him. Otherwise, you're good to go. From here, we're just gonna run away, or run straight to the end. And you see, you know, we're gonna end at 8.1 left on the clock. If you would like, one thing to note, you can switch off to the roll ability in some of these levels, like Rocky Star and Into the Machine, even Boneyard Casino if you really want to. And you can switch off the roll, and that will allow you to move fast. Like, it'll allow you to move pretty quickly while keeping the timer. The timer will stay at its normal speed, so you'll be able to kind of be gaining time on the clock. And that's another way that you can do that should you like to. Anyway, from here, live tutorials, guys, aren't they fun? Anyway, we're gonna do Fire Down Below, and this level, just make sure you don't die is the biggest thing. We're gonna be bypassing a pretty slow portion of it over there to the right. I'm pretty sure it expects you to do that with the timer, and then it also expects you to run on the little cogwheel up here. And instead, we're gonna press L2 when we get up here. We're gonna stand right on this, press L2, and we're gonna throw down the mine. and the mine will actually blow this up, so you don't have to do anything. And as you saw there, I even tripped the alarm and fell down. Like, I did all that, and I still got up here with 30 seconds to spare. So fire down below, nice and easy, nothing to worry about. Same here with Cunning Disguise. This one's going to be nice and easy. You grab this, and then while you're in this, I recommend switching over to roll, so you don't forget. And then when you get to right about here, start rolling, and you should gain enough speed to skip that. And we're just going to get this guy to attack, bait him out, and then come up and kill him. I'm going to climb up here, and you need to do a slope jump to do that, which is holding up against the surface, pressing X, kind of letting that jump go fully, and then pressing again to get up here. And then we're just going to do this pretty simple jump. It's not that bad. If you're having some trouble with it, I recommend playing around with it. You should be good to go. And then, like I explained earlier, you're just going to jump on that, or explained in part 1, just jump on that and jump out to the left, and you can skip that, and piece of cake, yeah. Easy peasy. See, you know, now they're starting to watch them in action. You know, they're not as bad as you might have thought originally. You can even trip the alarm here on this one if you would like to. If you're just starting out, I would recommend going over and breaking it, but you don't need to. And then just climbing this, and we're gonna do kind of a weird strat here. I believe this is the first time I've had to explain this in 100%. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump out, and we're gonna be holding directly up left towards this second little plank there. Like, you see the one with the steering wheel, and then the next plank of wood to the left of it, where like there's the fire pillar that's directly in front of it, and then there's this one with the coins on it. It's the one without the coin. That would be a lot easier of a description. We're gonna be holding towards that, and we're gonna jump one time, and then we're gonna press circle, and then immediately press X again. And what it should look like is that, and it will allow you to get down here nice and easy. And then from here, we can just run straight away to the end of the level. I don't have to worry about anything. If that guy is standing in place when you get down there, where that the barrels are, if he jumps in place and doesn't move towards you when you're on that, wait one more time for him to jump and do another attack. Otherwise, he'll kill you when you're on this rope. And that's really, really bad, and you don't want that to happen. But then you just come up here and hit this, and look at that, 25 seconds left on the clock. These sprints have got nothing on us. Speedrunners here are messing them up. Yeah. Alright. Stealthy Approach is probably the scariest one, and honestly, when you're just starting out with 100%, I recommend you practice this one a lot. This is going to be the one that's going to trip you up. This one, Into the Machine, and Rocky Start are probably going to be the 3 that trip you up the most. So definitely put a lot of practice into those. Make sure you know what you're doing, the lines that you're taking, things like that. Another thing to preface this with, you can do this entire thing with fast. You only have a 2.7 second buffer though to do that, so I definitely do not recommend it when you're just starting out. But if you would like to mess around with it and you would like to practice it, it's not that difficult. You just have to make sure you don't trip the alarm. Otherwise, what I'm going to recommend you do is when you get up to right about here, I'm going to recommend you switch to roll, which should be 3 L2 presses, and roll down to here. And then from here you can switch back to fast, and just kind of mash X when you're getting close to the water, you don't get swept away. And then you can keep just using fast this whole time. And make sure you make these cycles so you don't have to wait for any extra ones. And from here, you should be golden if you used fast earlier and you don't trip these alarms. Using that little section of roll earlier is going to give you a little bit of an extra buffer. Like you saw there, we had 4.2 left on the clock, which means we had a 4.1 second buffer. It doesn't matter how good you do a thief sprint, just so long as you get this congratulations, you've beaten a thief sprint. That's all that matters. You don't need a fancy time or anything like that. You just need to get it done. So doing that little bit of roll there, that just extra little bit of time on the clock, was more than enough to make that pretty easy. And then from here, we have one thief sprint left, high class heist. And here we're going to be doing another super jump. This one is not as hard as I would say as the other one. You can trip the alarm there, it doesn't really matter. It's going to break it right away anyway. Double jump over this, single jump through this, break this, and then right after you break this, switch to roll. The super jump's honestly not as hard because you can see what you're doing. And we're going to switch to roll here, and the reason why you want to switch to roll is you're just going to roll underneath these guys and not have to worry about it. Now I generally get right about here, and I do this really quickly, but you have a few seconds to set this up if you want to be absolutely certain. But right about here is where you're going to want to be at. And then we're just going to start super jumping across these lily pads, and we're going to get right here. And since we don't have a charm, we kind of have to just watch the slow animation, but you can speed that up with fast, and if you have the angle right, you should just go right through the trigger, and you should complete the thief sprint instead of getting that. Wow, I don't know why that didn't work. That should have worked. I'm really confused right now. Everything was right. I'm so confused. What is happening? I promise I know what I'm talking about. This isn't that difficult. I mean, you could have never played the game before and pick this up and do this. I don't. I'm so confused. Let's try further back. Maybe I was too far ahead. Or too close to the thing. I normally get a little bit further out here too. This should be fine. What is happening? Copy that one. I haven't messed up this strat in my last like 10 or so attempts of this category. I don't understand. Like my last like 10 full completed runs, I've never messed this up. That's really weird to me. I don't know what was going on with that. But whatever, copy that one. That one worked. I don't know what I did differently, because it all looked the same. But oh well, whatever. Anyway, we've completed all the thief sprints now, so we're just gonna go back to the hideout, and once again we're gonna give a look-see. We got 7 keys, 6 vaults, 6 thief sprints. Over here we have 7 keys, 5 vaults, 5 thief sprints. Now, in the next part, we're going to be doing the entirety of World 3. From here on, there'll be no more like going back to a hideout. Now that we have fast, we can just do the thief sprints right after we do the levels. And yeah, that'll be it. We'll just knock each level out one by one by one, and continue on from there. And like I said, at the start of this video and the end of all the other videos, these sprints, they seem pretty simple now, don't they? I mean, that one strat gave me a little hiccup there, but whatever. It happens sometimes, right? But this seemed pretty simple. I think that you guys got this. So there you have it. There's part 3, and we'll see you in the next part for all of Hub 3. Peace out.